Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies. And this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
I'm still perusing this Jonathan Bennett article we got from Linda. She hasn't, best I know, she hasn't asked for it back.
Have we heard back?
We've not. No. But to be fair, she wrote us last, so.
True.
But we've answered on the air.
On the air,
in her
of
court
course.
at this
Yes.
point.
I guess we could write a letter back and say, do you want it back? But that seems
like we should just
send it back
or keep it. One or the other.
Or send it to V, like we had talked about.
That's true.
They promised to pass it along.
Jonathan Bennett will stand up during a meal to act out part of the story that he's telling. My husband says he's never eaten a meal with me once where I don't stand up.
Wow.
My kids do the same thing. They don't eat a meal and sit down the entire time.
That's true.
My kids have to.
It's tough.
That's true. Your kids never stand up.
No, they do.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to. Though.
Right. So but they do. That's the thing about kids.
They'll do what they want.
They do stand up at least once. And you say, none of that now here, kids. None of that now here.
And don't you try to sing
Is that what
or have a good time.
Yeah, we don't sing at the table either. That's right. You say what you want.
What do you guys do?
Smart.
What are you allowed to do at the table?
live a wonderful life.
No, what are you allowed to do?
Joy and love.
Can't
and
sing. You can't
chew
sing.
You can sit and talk about your day and eat and talk about the things you love. Or
Where'd the singing rule come from?
Well, when they were younger, I have cousins who are twins, and when they were young, and I was like in middle school, their mom would be like, no singing at the table. I'd be like, that's a terrible rule. This mom doesn't know what she's talking about. When I have kids, they're going to be able to sing at the table because I sing at the table, blah, blah, blah. And then my kids, twins, started singing at the table. And what happens is one of them sings and the other one's like, I can do it better, louder, stronger. And then it becomes unstoppable. Yeah. The train has left the station and they're in a tunnel. They don't hear anybody else but themselves. And they're back and forth going,
screaming
Jay, watch this, watch
yeah.
this. Ray, watch this, watch this. And then they get mad at each other because one interrupted the other. And it's the whole meal. It's done. And so unfortunately, we made a no singing rule at the table. And it hurts me as much as it hurts them because we'll go out to Sushi Kingdom. And you know that soundtrack is all bangers.
Banging.
And I'll start singing a song.
Yeah.
And my kids, the rules police, when it's not them, are like, Dad, you know you're not allowed to sing at the table. And I'm like, you're right. I'm not. Yeah. It's really hard.
You are right. I'm the reason that rule exists.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It is to keep me in line.
Yes, that's right.
You know how often I get up and start singing and prancing around the room. There's nothing I can do.
You guys have to work with me. I sing constantly.
Right.
So it's tough for me, but it's good for the table because if not, our meal turns into anarchy.
What's good for the table is good for the geese.
For the table, or the gander for that matter. Yeah.
And a good day on the course.
Speaking of a good day, it's a good day to get Philo, philo.tv/DTH. Lots going on Philo right now. Of course, you can watch our show. You can watch all the movies that we're reviewing. But also, it's a great time to dive in with us with the Philo Deep Dive. Dan, all month, we are heading into some Christmas stuff we didn't even know existed.
That's right. That's right. We find it by searching on Philo, Christmas or holidays or whatever, and we find these fun shows or little documentaries, and we talk about them, and we're having a fun time. So you need to check that out.
That's
but
right.
also, like AMC showing all the classics. They're showing Elf. You got all these holiday movies you can put on your DVR instead of.
And they've made it easy because they got the hub. You click on the hub, and
hub is there.
just
Our channel is there. You could save yourself a ton of money from buying other movies, whether that be streaming or physical media, and you could save streaming subscription costs by just going to Philo. It's pretty simple.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And the DVR is.
That's right. Yeah.
For my money, the best in the biz. The best in the biz.
One button ad skip. I mean, come on. What more do you need?
You needed it during this movie because there are commercials. But the ad button, not for any other reason.
Yeah,
you don't want to.
I know.
I know.
Sounded like
it did.
You were trying to.
Guys, sometimes I don't know when to get out of it. Sometimes I just keep talking about Philo and I just keep going.
Pot pie on her.
On her. Let's talk about.
I get what you're saying.
My Norwegian holiday. Have you been to Norway?
Norway?
I've never been to Norway.
Norway is where Norway and Paraguay meet.
Yeah.
Not many people know that.
Have you been to Norway?
I've not been to Norway. No.
Aaron, have you ever been to Norway?
Aaron.
No, I've not been to Norway.
Aaron, you have a mic now. Is there anything you've wanted to say over the past month that you didn't get a chance to say?
No, I think I said it
You have
all.
a list?
You said it all, yeah.
They didn't hear me, but I said it.
That's all that matters. Any update on Taylor and Trav?
She was in Wisconsin this weekend.
Great. Did they go to a Christmas party?
To the Packers. So typically he plays better when she's
She
there.
was at the game and they lost.
She was at the game.
Is that the first time that she's lost?
I think it's the first time they've
I think
lost when she's been at the game.
Wow.
Maybe they need to break
but
up.
she wore a great red coat.
Okay.
So expect red coats to be making an appearance for us for the holiday season.
Good to know.
Are you gonna get a red coat?
I had one years ago, loved it, would get another one, but
you
I
go.
already
Just gonna wear
have
that
a
one?
coat, and I don't feel the need to get a second coat here in South Carolina.
She did.
there's no need for
People are already agreeing with you in the chat. She did wear a great red coat. What is so great about this coat?
Nothing.
It looked phenomenal.
Did it say Chiefs on
Pull
it?
up
Or
the
is it
pin.
just
Pull
red?
it up. Pull up the red coat so that I can see this red coat. I promise you, if I'm not impressed by this red coat,
I won't
I'm
be.
done.
Is it like a varsity coat?
I'm done.
You don't need to be done. Dan did already fire me this morning, so I,
did.
don't even
That's
know
true.
why I'm here.
I missed that.
I
Why'd
forgot
you get
why
fired
you're
this time?
I
I'm
forget
sure
why
it's documented
as well.
somewhere.
Oh, it is somewhere. Yeah,
Everybody's talking about how great this,
Yeah.
guys. If I am
And
not
by
blown,
everybody, you
I
mean Whitney.
mark my words. If I am not blown away by this jacket, I will not do
You
this
gonna leave?
again. I won't do this again.
This segment?
No,
I love doing this, but I'm not doing this again. It's a great red jacket.
She looks like a
great red
first
jacket.
lady or a mob
does.
boss.
It is
She
a
does
great
not-
red jacket. Wowzers.
It's an okay red jacket.
Zoom in just a smidgy.
That red coat's overrated.
Drew's right.
It's a great
Drew
red
says
jacket.
Does Drew say it's overrated?
He did.
Drew
Red,
basically
wow,
does.
it. I think it's a little overrated
It's
too.
an overrated
All right, okay. All right, let us know. Here's what we're going to do today on social media. We're not going to post about what we're talking about.
Why would we
Just
do that?
post that picture and say you like it or not. Vote. That's
Overrated?
what we're going to do today.
Not overrated.
Well,
You can listen to this
unless
episode if you
Aaron
want
did
to.
craft a social media post,
Delete
then
it.
please.
Have you crafted?
I'll put it on our stories with a poll.
There you go.
That's a great
There
idea.
you go.
Look at that.
My
day is
Norwegian
We're doing this the day of the episode, right?
day of the episode.
Not
Day of the
today.
episode.
Wednesday.
Because we're a little bit
Yeah,
off
yeah.
kilter here.
Yeah, a little
Wednesday.
off kilter.
I know it's. I
Make a
know.
note for the
Yeah.
future.
But you know it's Wednesday.
I know that it's Wednesday.
Wednesday
We're all on the
morning.
same day here.
Wednesday morning. Let's talk about My Norwegian Holiday. It originally aired on December 1st, 2023, and it went a little something like this. Jessica Johnson, she's at a coffee shop, grading papers, as you do, watching another Jessica Johnson break up with a Norwegian fella named Henrik.
Hey, everybody.
Oh boy.
What?
Did somebody say Henrik?
I did, Henrik. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about you, fellas?
I'm doing great.
I love
You
this
ready?
show so much. I love you so much.
Are you ready for the holiday season?
Oh, I'm ready for the holiday. I love the holiday season so much.
9 things you love about the holidays.
Oh, there's so many things to love about the holidays. So many things to be excited about the day. Let me tell you 9 things. 1, the lights. 2, the trees. 3, the ornaments. 4, candy. 5, the family. 6, the houses. 7, Santa. 8, I don't know yet. Give me a second on 8. Give me a second on 8. Give me a second on 8.
I think we gotta cut it.
Candy canes. I know it's like candy, but it's different. It's different because it crunches.
9 now.
And it crunches.
Go to 9.
Number 9, my
Crunches.
favorite things on the holidays. It's coming right now. Light shows.
Light show.
Thank you,
Did you
Henrik.
say crutches?
Crunches. I was just
Oh,
crunches.
crunches.
Has
Oh,
he
I
ever
got you.
gotten through 9?
Yeah, he has gotten
Did
through
we just
9.
make history?
We
Oh,
did. No, we
yes.
got through 9 a bunch,
Okay.
and then Brandon started getting upset. Henrik was taking too long, even though Henrik says he loves him very much.
I
So
love
wouldn't-
Henrik. I love Henrik a
I
lot.
love you
know
too,
that about
man.
me. All right.
I love you so much.
I love you so
This
much.
show means so much to me.
This,
Henrik on the 9s, baby.
thank you, Henrik.
Love you, Brian.
You too, Henrik?
Why do you go up with your voice?
Did I?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just trying to meet him where he's at.
I love you too. That means that Jessica Johnson goes to get the drink that was called out for her and is mad at Henrik for not getting chai tea. But that's because that beverage belonged to our Jessica Johnson, the peppermint mocha. It is the one for her. We're going to call her JJ for the rest of the movie because they do as well. And Henrik accidentally causes JJ's papers to go everywhere.
It's a tough start for Henrik.
It sure is, bud. We'll check on you soon.
Love you so much.
Love you. She forgets
What a guy.
one. I'm just happy that Brett's not here today. It would have been a tough day to have a guest.
It would have been tough.
Real tough day.
Immediately, we knew we dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
I want Brett to join us as often as possible, but this would have been a tough one.
It would have been a tough one, yes.
So she forgets one of the papers, so JJ tracks, I'm sorry.
No.
So Henrik,
No.
Henrik tracks her down at school and brings her the paper. He spies a Norwegian troll on her desk and tells her that he was going to bring the other Jessica Johnson to Norway for Christmas.
We got a few Norwegian trolls that message us on the Instagram.
Absolutely. I already have a ticket for a Jessica Johnson, so how about you just tag along? And she's like, hard pass, bro. But when she's in need of some more time to finish her dissertation, she is faced with a dilemma. Either don't finish it or get extra time by going to Norway. It's a very specific deal, but one she can't pass up. So she packs up the troll and heads to Norway with a stranger man. They get there and we learn that the Norwegians all hate each other. Their words, not mine. She plans on ditching Henrik as soon as possible, but his sister insists that she joins him for his niece's recital, and there's nothing she can do there. Once you've been invited to a recital, you can't say no. And so it happens. Naturally, the family insists that she comes to stay with their grandma, Astrid. She hangs out a bit with Henrik. And she notices that people around town seem very angry at Henrik. Why are people so mad at Henrik? She eats dinner with the family. They talk about how Norway has different words for different types of love. So that's fun. And we find out that the old Jessica Johnson was really just his assistant resigning. No romance at all. So all above board there. She sees him dressed up, best I can figure, as an Amish fellow. And she's thirsty AF.
Sorry to the Amish out there.
Sorry if you were.
Yeah, the Amish are listening, Dan. The Amish are listening.
And that's why you shouldn't make fun of them, because they're not listening, right? You only
I'm
make fun
not
of people
making
that
fun
aren't
of
listening.
them. I'm saying.
What you're saying is if people aren't listening, that gives you the green light to just be like, that person's Amish.
No, I just didn't want. I didn't want you to just.
Who do you think you are?
I
It's
am.
unbelievable.
Anyways, she likes. He finally opens up about why everyone hates him. He was supposed to
I wasn't
bring.
too kind to the Amish there, Brand.
I'm sorry, bud.
still love
Can you
you
ever
so
forgive
much.
me? Favorite things about Amish.
Yeah.
Oh, the beards. 2, the butter. 3 of those carriages. You know I love them.
Yep.
4, the horses. 5, the quilts.
Did you say
There's got
horse?
to be other things about the
Go.
Amish.
7.
They build things really well.
Oh, the stuff they make with wood
Yep.
is awesome.
Suspenders.
Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Indiana,
9.
Rust Belt. I love you guys.
Love you, buddy.
Man, he is.
He's on it
so
today.
He like knows so much.
He
about
knows
so
so
many
much about
things.
so many
Thank
things.
you, Brian. I love you so much.
He knows.
Thanks, Henrik. Love you too, man.
He knows 9 things about so many things.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was supposed to bring Norway a medal in skiing, and he never did. And it hurt. He hurt himself.
And hurt?
He
Just won a medal for skiing. He never did. And hurt?
and hurt himself while he was training even harder. So that's bad. Apparently, it was a real brutal fall. It goes viral on TikTok every other day. The Norwegians, they don't give a flying turd. They hate us.
Astrid?
Turns out, though, they don't actually hate him. It's a big bit. Everybody, the big funny, we're going to fight you. Just kidding. Drinks all around. I don't know, man. Astrid tells JJ she wants to be her new grandma. Then she takes them to this guy who also happens to be JJ's old coach because he knows a lot about trolls. In fact, he does know about this specific troll. He made it. He also did the dirty with JJ's grandma. He's her grandpa. She's overwhelmed with feels, so she wanders through the forest like she's in a Taylor Swift music video. Henrik shows up, limp runs through the woods, finds her, hugs her. They go to look at the northern lights and celebrate Christmas together. Grandpa Coach tells Henrik that he should be a coach, hands him this thing and says, hey, look at this, you should be a coach. Henrik and JJ walk and talk about the future and how she wants to move here. They go to kiss, but not before she tells a couple of kids to get lost, to scrammo. This is going to be a good kiss. They do kiss. I don't know for how long, because they fade to black. And that, my friends, was My Norwegian Holiday.
They just fade to black, huh, Brian?
Fade to black. We'll talk about it. We're going to be right back here on Hallmark. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're talking about
not doing feels yet.
None of us are working properly today.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about the Norwegian Christmas holiday.
What?
What
is happening?
It's time to
Norwegian
talk about my
holiday.
Norwegian holiday. My?
Yeah, my Norwegian. Or
She took a holiday in
did you
Norway.
hit the microdose gummies
No,
extra
but I
hard?
like my.
The
Like
word
I
my
didn't.
has been in the English language for a long time.
But my means me.
Yes, it
I
does.
didn't.
But it's the name of the movie, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't.
We know
So
you
when
didn't.
I
We know you didn't.
when
Don't
I
worry
about
read
that. We know.
when I read my Norwegian holiday,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm gonna be in this joint. Like I'm gonna be in this movie. I'm gonna be in Norwegian, and I'm not.
No, you're
I
not.
think you and I both know.
I'm just saying maybe we should scram it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should
We
scram
should
it.
scram it?
Yeah, like maybe her Norwegian holiday. There's one thing I've learned
You
from the
scrap
Hallmark
it?
Channel is that the pronouns matter.
Yeah.
You have to pick them
Yeah.
where you can put them. You know what I mean?
We're so just cattywampus out of sorts that I've been reminded in the chat I did not say we did it. Which
Wow.
that should tell you how far off the rails we are. But
See, and I didn't
You
even
wanna-
realize
two
that.
Henriks, yeah, we did it. Yeah, but two Henriks in the synopsis alone, I feel like, it was bound
Cut
to
a
happen.
little slack here.
Yes, that's right.
Let's get to the hot take. It's where we're talking about how we felt about this movie. Brian, what did you think about my Norwegian holiday?
Now, Brent,
the movie.
I didn't think that you
I
were
haven't
in-
been there.
That sounds
You didn't-
confusing.
you
I
say
haven't.
my.
Why would
I
you
haven't
say-
stepped
Yeah.
foot in
It
Europe.
sounds like you.
I would never.
It sounds like you
You
think
would
you
never
did.
step foot in Europe.
I
never
said
go?
it.
Wow.
I said it.
You heard it here first.
Wow,
Brian hates
man.
Europe and
You know
the
what they
Amish.
did?
It's unbelievable.
You
Tell
know what
your
you
Amish
did.
friends.
Tell your Amish friends. That's exactly right.
That's right.
Because they can't hear it here.
Well,
I
I'll
can't-
try to get us some
Right,
people
go-
back
When you
on
did
here.
at Bramblefest, when
Yes.
you said "Take Me Back to Christmas," "Take Me Back for Christmas," that was the name of that movie. Did it confuse you at all when you
No,
said
because
"Take
I
Me Back"?
always want to go back for Christmas.
you don't.
What
wanna go
about
to
My
Norway.
Christmas Guide? You said My Christmas Guide.
Yeah, I know. I know. For me, I know what my Christmas guide is. Everybody has a different guide.
What's your Christmas guide?
The Lord.
The Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Of course it is.
I've never been to Norwegian. So,
Norwegian?
And at this point, you're not welcome.
so I
believe.
can't. There's nothing I could do. Brian, what do you think about this movie?
Yeah, this. Thanks, Brent.
What a mess, man.
This was good stuff. The fish, if I dare say, was capital F phenomenal in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Norway looked so like clean and easy to navigate. Like there were not crowds of people. They don't like to touch each other, which that sounds great. You're not bumping into anybody. I like how they all rag on Henrik. Like I feel like the Norwegian sense of humor.
If there's a group of people out there we've not offended yet today, just go ahead and send us
Absolutely.
a message of encouragement.
I'm trying to
Who
compliment
could we have possibly offended?
Norwegian folks. I think the way
At one point, you said Norwega. Norwega.
That's
And
a
you said
lot.
you wouldn't be caught dead in Europe.
you did.
I'm not allowed. There's a difference.
Okay.
So now since he's not allowed, he can say whatever he wants. He's just, the way they rag on each other and rag on Henrik in particular felt so familiar. Like I like that environment. That feels sort of like the
Why?
day here every single day. Just if a bunch of people aren't just piling on you, like what's the point of
That's
even
right.
going
Even
to
eating
work?
chicken pot pie.
Yeah, right.
Eating on 'em.
The
Yeah.
humor was great. I didn't like the conflict. I thought that was silly, but that's bound to happen. There's got to be something that is just a little bit off. Lots of good stuff, and for that I say tak skal du ha.
Oh, stop it.
Go away.
Stop. Go, please.
What's it mean?
That just I think
means
it means
kick
thank,
rocks.
No, thank you. Is basically what
Tak
it's-
skal duha?
Yep. Talk Skull
I want to do this. This is fun.
And basically, I'm just saying thank you for this movie.
Google Translate.
I had a good old time.
I want to
Say
say
Tak skal du ha. I might be a little off there, but close. What we got, Brand?
what is it? It's Norwegian?
Norwegian. That's what
I'll
they
save
speak in
this.
Norway.
I'll save this for just a little bit from now. Norwegian.
Norwegian.
I like this movie a good bit. Of course, I love the fish. I love the guy from Ted Lasso. I love that they're in a movie together. I felt like we did Norwegia good, and
We did Norwegia good.
and it was real nice. I didn't see Grandpa coming, to be honest with you. That kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, overall, I had a good time. It's not one of my favorites of the year, but I would not be upset to have this on in the background again or something like that. Wrap presents too, maybe.
Sure.
Not like the most Christmassy of movies in the traditional American sense of
and you hate Europe, so
Christmas.
that would make-
Christmas feels, but I like that, and I like. There's a lot of things, and I'll get to the feels, but there are specific things about the culture that made me real happy, and I'll just say God's rule to you.
Great. Awesome.
Thank you for
I will say kill hater Amish, which means Bran hates the Amish. And then I'll get back to my hot take.
My name in Norwegian is Kill.
Yeah, I just typed in Bran hates the Amish, and that's what it's KIL. So
Kill.
kill
Probably.
hater Amish. Yes.
Fair.
So we have a problem here, and it's a growing problem, and I think we have two things that are happening at once. One is this is an unmistakably bad movie. The worst trope, by Bran's admission, the worst trope is I've got this thing, this trinket, this relic. I don't know anything about it, and now I'm on the hunt for why it matters. It is consistently bad, boring, and this movie suffers greatly because of that. The contrivances in this movie are absurd. The fact that he thinks all these people hate him when they don't. Everything about her staying around, even though she insists she's not staying around, everything about it, her getting on the plane, all of it is terrible. But on the other side of things, we have Rhiannon Fish. And listen, I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. For years, people have been like, well, Tyler Hines was in the movie, so it can do no wrong. I have heard like legit articulate defenses of movies like Always Amore, just because it starts with Tyler Hines is great. He's so hot. He's in the movie, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. And I can see right through that. But Rhiannon Fish is so disarming, so charming, so adorable that it just is like, I was just sitting there going, man, this movie's bad, but she is not. She is great. And so she's kind of like the female Tyler Hines. Her presence alone in these movies is starting to elevate what would otherwise be just a tough watch. And so she's a star, and she's above this material by a good amount. And when she's on screen, the movie works better than it should. The movie's terrible. All of it is not good, but she's great. And so it's going to end up probably in my top 15 somehow. And I don't know how, aside from Rhiannon Fish is in it, and apparently I'm that big a fan. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's time for all the feels, where we talk about what in this movie gave us those feels.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, the fact that we've had the fighting chance with Vic Webster all season,
yes.
And then in this movie, I thought for a moment there was going to be a barroom brawl.
Oh, man.
We were going to
what a
get
time that would have been.
a fighting chance of a lifetime opportunity. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I couldn't believe it, what was happening. I said, this is the moment.
This is it.
This is
what
moment.
Vic's been waiting on.
And it didn't happen.
No.
It wasn't, not that it was a letdown. I guess because we do the Vic segment, it made it super exciting just for a second there. So that was a good feels. And also that there was a line in this movie that I hope I remember to say this the rest of my life. When they're at the wedding party, I guess, and they have that table of cakes and desserts and stuff. He says, you don't stop when you're full. You stop when you're ashamed. And like,
amen.
Oh, yeah.
Amen and amen.
Holy cow.
That's
what
right.
a line. What a line. What a line. I'm going to say that for hopefully the rest of my life.
What a line, what a line, what a line.
What a line.
It is no secret that me and the English language have our fair share of differences. I don't like it. I think it is, by and large, a worthless language. So to get the explanation of the different words for love in the Norwegian culture, I love that. I wish there was another word that I could use to explain it, because I don't love it like I love my wife, but I do really love it. And so now I'm just stuck using the same old word.
You like it. You appreciate it. You respect it.
No, I loved it.
You revere it.
I loved it.
No, then that's just you not using the full vocabulary at your disposal.
Oh my gosh, this guy's ridiculous. Dan, go ahead.
I really didn't have any feels in this movie. I'm sorry. Like, Norway did look beautiful. Would love to visit. I actually agree with Brian. It felt never crowded, and that is the dream.
That is, yeah.
The dream is like, cool. I want the pace and the attitude of New York City with half the people, and it's a perfect city, which is kind of why I live in Greenville. It's not exactly that, but like, we have some combination of like things and culture.
You're talking about, that Greenville?
This is living. This is Greenville. But it did have that appearance to it, that it was like, this is Norway, this is living. Like, it was like, there's always room. There's always plenty of room, and you're never, in a hurry, and you can navigate it easily. That was great. The rest of this, whatever.
Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back and we will get to the wait, what, and the what, the Hallmark. And as Vic Webster will show up. Maybe there's a fight we missed. I don't know. Only one way to find out here on Deck the Hallmark. Do you want to say Deck the Hallmark?
Deck the Hallmark.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about My Norwegian Holiday, Christmas, and it is time for the Wait What It Is, where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Right?
Yeah, a few. He ruined 2 of her peppermint mochas, and that is a day ruiner.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's tough.
That is brutal. Like, I think I've said it before. That's at that point, I would just go home, call it a day.
Call it a day.
And say, we'll try it again tomorrow. Her advisor for her dissertation had, oh man, it just feels silly to even say. He had a full Christmas tree in his office. We say this all the time. Like, then I start thinking about it. I'm like, if you're there so much, I guess it makes sense to decorate and have a full tree, but just hauling out a full tree in your office at work just seems like a lot. Like, that's just, I mean, full tree is a lot. It was so green at Christmas time in Norway. Every shot, like, they tried to make it look wintry, but every shot where there was a window in the background, you can see outside, you could see birds singing in the window. It was so green. It was so funny. He was limping throughout this movie a whole lot because he's nursing that leg injury. And he decides to test out the old leg on the dance floor.
Yeah, he
does. Chicken dance. That seems like not an ideal place to like start to let loose, is just to bust out on the dance floor. Hans, who was it, the coach? What was his name again?
Grandpa.
Anders, yes. Anders just hands over the keys to the National Alpine Ski Team to our lead here.
Someone who's never coached in his life. That is a huge one, yes.
To steal a line from my good friend Bran, the assistant coaches must be pissed.
Yeah, no kidding.
You got a whole team
working their whole lives, and he's just like, nah.
You're
go.
the king of the castle.
Yeah.
So I think maybe start him at a lower level. Let somebody else step up to head coach. But I guess maybe he's that good that you just need him at that level.
Maybe, yeah, that's tough.
I don't know.
That's tough. It doesn't happen often, but whenever it does, it's always a big uproar. When someone gets a first job as a head coach of something, it does, and it's always tough. It's always tough. I got only just a couple, really. I both wanted and also loved that everybody got super relaxed for this reception. Like, I wish that was just the way it is. Everybody bring a change of clothes. No need to stay in the tuxes or anything for the reception. Let's get fun with it. Let's get cozy. I do love the different types of love, the first type, second kind, etc. I do also love that with the accents, saying third comes out as the turd kind of love. Made me laugh. And last but not least,
still does.
One of the Fish's things. She's always good at the kiss. In her movie with Tyler Hines, they had lots of kisses, and she even does this bit at the end of this movie where she's like, "Hey kids, stop! This is going to be a top tier kiss. Don't bother us."
Basically breaks the fourth wall.
And that top tier kiss happens for maybe a second, then fades to black. We get one little pecker. and that's it. Fade to black.
I don't think you can say that.
Ridiculous.
just peck.
Ridiculous.
We just say peck.
We have been waiting
little
all
peck is all you
movie,
say.
and all you give us is a pecker. Ridiculous.
No.
Ridiculous.
It's
No
fighting
one is
the English
giving
language
anybody
again.
peckers.
No, one little peck.
No
You and
peckers.
the, yeah,
You can't
just
say
a little
that.
peck.
No, you can't.
A little peck. You should be able to have a little peck.
I stand by it. You gotta leave that kiss on the screen longer.
Yes, I agree with that.
We've been waiting all
Yes,
movie.
One little
pecker.
big-
That's all you say. No,
Sure.
one little peck. That's all you say.
What's wrong with saying pecker?
It just doesn't really sound.
There's other words, right?
All right. Well, Dano.
Yeah, this is one of those coffee shops that puts the last name on the coffee cup, which I love so much. Can you imagine? You could identity stealing just became easier. Why are you writing the first and last? They mess up the first name enough. Why are they putting the last name on
And
there?
she goes by JJ too. So
Yes.
why did
Right.
she give them Jessica
Yeah,
Johnson?
if you could write is it Jessica?
Jessica.
Jessica Johnson on that cup, all of it, please. Nobody, look, it takes.
There's
long
too
enough
many JJs out there. Surely
many
there's not another
JJs.
Jessica Johnson
not
in the
this
joint.
store at this time. I am sorry, but after the third time that you don't close the door to your personal space, you need to stop being shocked and scared when people walk in on you. She is in her classroom and he walks in the door and she gasps like she's in a horror movie. First of all, if you're teaching, people walk in and out all the time. And if you don't want that to happen, you just close the door. That's all you do is you just close the door and it's really easy. Then he does it a second time and she's like just as scared. And then in Norwegian, as Brand says, in Norway, in the room where she's staying, it's her own personal space. Close the door. And instead she leaves the door open and he's just right there. And she acts as though she's being right. Like, close the door. Just close the door. It'll save us all a lot of time. And you won't get scared nearly as much if we just close the door. That's all I'm asking you to do. I found the fact that his ski teammates like acted mad at him but weren't mad. Like he keeps seeing them throughout town and they're like bumping him and glaring him, and that it's all a bit to be one of the most awkward, weird, terrible moments of this movie. He honestly believes these people are angry at him. Either he misread that and they never were, or they all collectively got together and said, let's make him think that we're mad at him about an injury he couldn't control from 2 years ago. That is too dark a humor even for me, Brian. Like that is a level of humor that I would not aspire to.
I took it as they actually were mad at him, and then they got a talking to and got straightened out.
Who talked to him?
Wasn't it the brother-in-law?
So they were actually mad
I
at this
think
guy?
that's how I took it. I thought they actually were, and then
Yeah, Aaron
they got talked
shaking
to.
her head off camera.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
The two kids that like bump into him and then come back at the end to interrupt the kiss, I think they were mad. But I feel like they were younger and like looked up
but
to
his
him.
teammates that he
Yeah,
sees
they
all
didn't
movie
seem
that
mad
are
at all.
glaring at him. I just thought it's an ultimate wait what, because it doesn't, like, it's something they need to move the plot along that doesn't make
Any sense.
any categorical sense. But we have to spend the rest of our time on the Northern Lights. These Northern Lights were stage directed. They are outside and they're looking at an empty night sky, and he's like, watch this. And you watch as from stage right, the Northern Lights start to mosey onto screen. I am not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure the Northern Lights are there. They don't like creep across the sky like a shooting star. And you never see all of them. You just see like this little bit. He's like, if you can only see a little bit, just turn to where you can see all of them in their majestic glory. Yeah. And instead they just kind of like start creeping on through the screen. And that was a really embarrassing
once
scene
you
for all
see
involved.
some of them, like
once you've seen the Northern
all,
Lights,
so.
you've seen them all. Yeah. That's right.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's time for what the Hallmark story wonder what could have been. Brian, what are you still wondering about?
Yeah, I was just wondering why did Florence ever reach out or try to reach out to Anders to let him know what went down? Like he obviously didn't know he had a granddaughter, but did she ever try? And if she didn't, like why not? Like she was so weird that she just took off, you know? So just kind of wondering about that. That's all.
It's a good one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Appreciate
I mean, listen, there have been a lot to the point about coaching. Like there have been some professional players that have immediately been thrown into coaching. It's worked out for some. Steve Nash. Didn't work out for others.
Jason Kidd. He worked out a little for Jason Kidd.
I didn't mean to say Steve Nash. I meant Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's been a very successful coach. Yeah. Steve Nash, not a successful coach. That's exactly right. And so how does it work out for this guy? Yeah. Like handed the key to the kingdom.
Big deal.
And does the limp ever get better? Or is that something he's going to have forever? Because this accident happened a while ago, and he's still got the limp. Is that just kind of a part of his life now?
Maybe he keeps trying to dance and he keeps aggravating.
He keeps trying to dance.
He can't stay away from
I
chicken
can
dance
if I want to,
but you're gonna aggravate it.
I can leave my friends behind. Dan?
Yeah. So everything in this movie moves really fast. Aside from the leading dude who's clearly slowed down. That's not a joke. Like everything moves very, very fast in this movie. It's very efficient, and it's tough to be that fast and efficient and not messy when you're talking about found family, lost family. This is a possible, this may be her grandfather. And they basically wrap that up with no flash forward by just going, I'm not going to get a DNA test. It's good enough for me. You love my grandmother. I love my grandmother. So that's great. You can stay here as long as you want. And I feel like if any movie needed a flash forward, like 1 year later, to see how dude's leg has improved and how she's adjusted, this movie needed one of those, and it didn't get one. And I thought that was unfortunate and would have liked to see it.
It's time for a fighting chance with Vic Webster, where Vic Webster will let us know if there was a fight in this movie. Vic, take it away, buddy.
Fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Was the fighting in the movie? Did someone get hurt? It's a fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
This movie was so full of action. No, not this movie. This Bruce Lee movie that's on TV right now.
A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
My favorite new bit of Fighting Chance, if you're not watching Philo.tv, Philo.tv/DTH, is at some point his eyebrows drop. Like he keeps this whole time, then he just goes. That's my favorite. I'm just waiting for that one moment the whole time.
He's the best. Fantastic. He's the best. Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.